Now, considering that we have maxed out facilities, junior coaching and youth recruitment, that's a lot of negatives in the old youth intake preview. I'm not sure what we're spending our money on. Steve, do you know anything about it? Maybe? Do you need to be dismissed, Steve? Hello everyone and welcome back to more Norwich City bouncing back, and I don't want to pick on poor Steve here, but he's found one good regen in the entire save, and for the money we're putting in, you'd expect something a little bit better than that. But anyway, enough about that one. We'll see how it turns out, and this season is actually turning out, I really shouldn't say this, I've hit record, you know what's going to happen today, but it's turning out quite well so far. Since last time's a draw with Brighton and Hove Albion and then win against Lazio, neither of which was particularly interesting, we have been, well, really having draw central, really. We did get knocked out of the League Cup by Everton after a 1-1 draw. On penalties, I'm not too bothered, particularly as we discussed. And since then, some of the frustrations of last season were creeping in as well, most notably in the 1-1 draw with Wolves. We took the lead through James Maddison, and then they equalised, as you can see there in the 90th minute, Jota with the goal. Were we using the defensive system for that one? Yes, we absolutely were. It's just that Todd Cantwell decided that he would just play, ignoring all of the instructions to do much shorter passing, just lob an aimless ball straight to them, and they equalised. So that was great fun. A 0-0 with Lazio, nothing really to write home about that one. And then a 1-1 with Manchester United, which is pretty good, all things considered. Although again, it is frustrating. We took the lead through Dominic Solanke, and then they did not really do all that much. They equalised in the 74th minute solely because Jamal Lewis, once again, was incapable of throwing the ball from a throw-in to a teammate. So really just a case of what might have been. A 0-0 with Arsenal, that was quite good. Arsenal, since they've hired Filippo Inzaghi, have actually become really good. So yeah, we'll take a point against them. We did then finally actually win a game. Saint Etienne was a 3-0 in the Europa League. Ryan Davis, Murray McCanny, both on the score sheet. Regens now starting to come to the fore, that is for sure. A 0-0 with Everton, frustrating, but they're having a good season as well. So again, I'd rather draw if it's against a good team. A draw is obviously better than defeat, so we'll have to take it. But since then, at the start of December, 3 wins on the bounce. Bournemouth was a 2-0 controlled performance. They're back in the Premier League. They finally made it back after we've basically hired all of their former players, but McCanny scored, as did Chris Mepham, against his old team for a simple win there. And then a little bit nervy, but a 2-1 win against Brentford. Solanke and McCanny with the goals in that one. And then most recently, we did win our final Europa League stage match against that Hungarian team, 7-0, which I think is the highest scoreline we've had in a competitive game all in the entire save, I think. And what was really encouraging, 7 different goal scorers, including Adam finally scoring his first goal of the season. A goal for Aaron Hitchman, we'd love to see that. Ryan Davis on the score sheet as well. Adam, you know, he's not lived up to the heights of his early part of his career, but he has actually scored a goal, at least one goal, in every single year he's been here. So let's look at the old tables then. We've won the Europa League group, which is fantastic news. We skip the first knockout round, we go straight to the second. Love that one. Lazio also are out. They have completely capitulated. I guess they really just wanted to win Euro Cup too, because they have they've not lived up to their reputation in that one. The Premier League is also looking very healthy as well. We're in 4th place at the moment, 31 points, 3 points clear of Everton, and we've got a game in hand, although that is against Chelsea, so we'll see that later on. But yeah, no, over half the points we've got last season, and indeed most seasons we've had, so yeah, not too bad at all. Certainly better than last year, where around this stage we were basically like 10th or something. So it's going well. What about England? Well, not as well. We are out of the Nations League. We finished with 13 points, 1 point behind Portugal. We drew with Portugal in Portugal, and obviously because they beat us at Wembley, they ended up winning the group. So disappointing, but the FA are not too bothered. We've got European Championship qualifying action, which you will see almost certainly none of. Our group is actually quite, we can find it, yeah, maybe not necessarily tough, but we've got Scotland, and Scotland have some really good regens, as we know. Sweden as well, Northern Ireland. You'd expect us to win, but it could have been a bit easier. So as said, Chelsea coming up later on, but first of all is Southampton. They're in 10th this season. We've got a decent record against them throughout the save. Obviously, those 4-0 wins on the opening day, but we do lose our fair share of games against them, so got to be on our best performance for that one, and obviously Chelsea, one of the teams we've had the worst performances and worst results against throughout the entire time we've been doing this, save for those 2 random high-scoring wins. We either destroy them or don't do all that much. So, Southampton at home, we should be winning this one, hopefully, quite comfortably. We've got a couple of injuries to contend with. James Maddison, the only one of any real concern, because the other one's Ethan Ampadu. I'm not too bothered about that one, but Maddison is going to be out for 2 weeks. Disappointing. We will miss his set pieces, that is for sure. But otherwise, we are fit and firing. Henderson is going to be in goal. He's over a 7. That's quite good. Lewis, Roberts, Mepham and Aarons is the defence. Cook, Chowdhury and Ali the midfield. Calvin Phillips could potentially come in for Chowdhury. He has done very well, although he's mostly been playing in the Europa League games. So we'll stick with Chowdhury for the time being. Brooks is on the right hand side. When Diaz had a little bit of an injury, he comes in back on the left, although he's not been particularly good. I've actually been playing Dominic Solanke there quite a lot, and actually he's not bad there. He's probably been better there than he has been as a striker, and he's not going to be playing as a striker because we've got Murray McCunny up front, who is playing really quite well at the moment. Although I've said all those things, and obviously this is an episode which is going to be uploaded onto a website called YouTube. So they're obviously not going to play well at all today, are they? But right, Southampton, they've got some interesting players, particularly Will Smallbone. He's developed really well in this save, and I would maybe like to sign him at some point, but not today because he plays for the opposition and we want to win the game. Obviously, last episode wasn't particularly interesting. In fact, the previous 2 episodes haven't been particularly interesting in terms of our performance. So if we could just play well today, even in this game, I mean, you know, I'd like to beat Chelsea as well, but let's just win this one convincingly in an entertaining fashion, shall we? Throw in from Chowdhury. He's taking him at the moment because he's got higher than the other 2. It's pulled back to Lewis Cook. He goes for the shot, and Lewis Cook scores a very nice goal. That's an encouraging start. I mean, you know, a throw in from someone who can actually find a teammate. We work it nicely through the angles, and then Cook, I mean, it's questionable goalkeeping. He was diving well before Cook pulled the trigger. Was Muller, but it's 1-0. And here we go. Let's not throw away our concentration and bin off the lead. We do have a tendency to do that. Not as much this season, but well, there's people watching now. Southampton patiently building this one up. We're looking relatively well set. How are they going to get through? Like that. Ramadan with a shot, and it goes over. Brooks has got an injury. It's only a bruised ankle. He has only come back from a relatively serious injury. We don't want him to be starting to become too injury prone. I was going to say his fitness has declined quite a lot. He's having a really good game though. Has he got something else happen to him? I mean, quite a few knocks. It's mostly just bruises, but I think we're going to have to take him off, as much as that irritates me. Marcus Edwards is going to come on. So half time, I mean, I asked for some exciting action. We've got a goal, which I guess that's good, but nothing really else. We're going to do the dropping the tempo and passing directness down just a little bit. Try and play a little bit more sensibly in the second half. I mean, we're dominating as far as the stats are concerned, but I'd be more happy if we were 2 or 3-0 up. Well, the second half, even more dull than the first one. Here we go. It's the 86th minute. I've not gone to the defensive tactic just yet. So here comes the equaliser for Southampton. Dele Alli with a random challenge. We're going to break, are we? I mean, please be a highlight for us. Marcus Edwards takes it well. He's got support. Solanke off the bench. Ida off the bench as well. It's been cleared. And here comes the Southampton equaliser. I don't even want to look. Campana. I mean, I should have gone defensive slightly sooner. I accept that. I was just kind of hoping it wouldn't be needed again. It's every single game. It's literally, it is a joke at this point that in the pretty much 85th minute onwards, we just decide that the game, we just give up. We let the opposition score. It's really embarrassing. Honestly, it is just a joke because it happens pretty much every game. And I mean, this is a good example of it. It's 1-1. We've dropped 2 points. I mean, it's not good enough, is it? It's not good enough. That's 2 more points dropped. I don't want to make coming to training, but just it's just not good enough. We've completely dominated the game, and then we throw it away. I mean, we shouldn't have to go ridiculously defensive at home against Southampton. We shouldn't have to. We should have been 2-3-0 up, and then we should just be able to actually keep the concentration. I mean, overall better than last season, but I'm already going to lose in count. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, now 5 games. 5 games where we have thrown points away. That's 10 points that we have thrown away in the closing stages of the match. We would be well clear at the top of the league, even with just a couple of them. I mean, so let's see if we can bounce back then against a team who we usually lose against. That's a really ideal opponent to face. Chelsea. Right, how are we looking in terms of injuries? James Maddison still not back for a week. That's great news. I really appreciate that one. I'm probably going to drop Buendia here because he doesn't do anything. He's just not very good. Ali's not been amazing either. Chowdhury, I don't know. I'm going to stick with the same thing from the start because actually, to be honest, a lot of the performances weren't awful in terms of ratings in the game against Southampton. Right then, here we go. They're really good. If we can't beat Southampton, don't think we're going to beat them here. But I keep just telling players that I'm telling them that we should be beating every team we face. I accidentally said that way back against Liverpool. I said I expect you to win, and they did, even though I wasn't actually really meaning to do that. So hopefully it works again today. We've got a free kick, good position. It's James Maddison territory. Unfortunately, he's not playing, and Emi Buendia can't even hit the target from there. I mean, Madders would have banged that one in, wouldn't he? Already thinking about subbing off Buendia, and we're not even 10 minutes in. He's got another free kick. Please don't screw this one up. He has. Livakovic punches it away, and they're just going to score, aren't they? Yep, look, what? Just watch. Just watch. I mean, they're not going to score, but Lewis Cook's just absolutely flattened him, and it's a blatant penalty. That's all come from Emi Buendia being really bad at everything. I'm shocked. It's a penalty. I never would have guessed that. I mean, what? We've apparently dominated the opening 10 minutes. 2 opportunities to score, and if it wasn't for an injury to someone who I would rather was playing, we would maybe even be 2-0 up, at least 1-0 up. Instead, we're 1-0 down. Not a great start, really. I mean, he's on a 6.7 still, is Emi. 6.7. He has completely missed the target from a direct free kick, and he's put another ball in, which they've then scored from. That's not 6.9 now. That's not really justified. Right, let's just retain our composure and see what we can do. We have done quite well stats-wise today so far. Let's just actually get some chances. Buendia again. He's involved. He's found a teammate. McCanny. Brooks is in. He's missed the target completely. And they've got a corner, which they're going to score from, are they? It's bounced down to Camavinga. Kulusevski, edge of the area. De Jong, he's wide. Is it bad that I want to... I'm going to do it. I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have even started him. Solanke's coming on for Buendia. Before half-time, we're going to embarrass him for his awful contribution to just football generally. I mean, show me something else in the second half. We should be not at least losing. I mean, we are absolutely dominating this game stats-wise. Chelsea haven't done anything really apart from their penalty, which only came about because we gave them the ball from our own free kick. So let's just do something. Brooks gets around the defence. McCanny's there. Murray McCanny with his 10th of the season. That is a brilliant goal. Finally, we do something useful, and it's not a coincidence. Emi Buendia is nowhere near the pitch for this one. We could have had 62 million for him in the summer from Barcelona, but he rejected the contract. Well, I mean, clearly I'm a mug. Now, what do we do in this situation? Do we stay positive? Do we go back to balance? Do we shut down and go for the defensive system and take the point? I mean, what do we do? I feel that whatever I do, there will be a highlight in the 88th minute and Chelsea will score a goal. Right, 76 minutes in, there's players get tired. We'll bring on Calvin Phillips for Hamza Chowdhury, and then we've got one more change to make. Ali, Brooks and McCanny all looking like possible departures. I should have put Ryan Davies on the bench. He's not on the bench, is he? Genius from me. We'll stick with this for now. I think maybe 80th minute I'm going defensive because I don't think we're going to score again. Right, it's the 82nd minute. I'm taking off Brooks for Edwards. And then once this change goes through, as much as I'd like to win, I will take the point. Look, we're going to the defensive system. There we go. We're shutting it down. Don't do anything stupid. Oh, look, here we go. There's 30 seconds left. What is every single time? I mean, why? Why? What else could we do? We're going extremely defensive. We're shutting it down. We've made the changes. He's offside, I hope. Is he offside? He better be offside. That was, I don't know if it was. If this isn't, oh, I don't even know what I'm going to do. It's offside, thank God for that. But, I mean, like, do you see? We've taken off our most tired players, our most underperforming players. We've gone defensive to close the game out, and then magically still there's a highlight. We've got away with it. We've got a point. We've absolutely dominated that game, and we should have won. We should have won. But given that it's Chelsea and they're top of the league, I'll take a point. So 2 draws, contrasting results, I suppose. I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like I'm losing my mind in this save because I feel like whatever happens, it just, whatever I do, the same thing happens every single time. Honestly, it's another draw at home. Disappointing, but against Chelsea, we have to take that really. We're down to 5th, but 33 points is okay. And I didn't want to mention it. I've not mentioned it at all. Somehow we are still, after 17 games, we haven't lost. It's been draw central, 8 wins, 9 draws, but we haven't lost a single game. We've played all the teams nearly, apart from West Ham and Newcastle, and they're right at the bottom of the table. So Newcastle will inevitably beat us 5-0 or something. But yeah, this whole save has just been so confusing. I don't know. I have no clue. I wish I knew what I was doing. Every time I feel like I'm getting the hang of it. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's where we end things today. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next time for, well, I don't plan on doing any January business probably, but we might come back for the end of the window just in case we have Sheffield United Blackburn. That seems like a winnable thing maybe. Of course, it depends what happens with the FA Cup, I think. Whenever we come back, if we're still unbeaten in the league, I will be very, very amazed. But that's going to be that for today. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe as well. And I will see you next time for something logical maybe. I doubt it.